Good to see you today.
Hello.
How are you feeling?
Same.
Same. Tell me more about that.
Actually not even the same. I feel worse. I can't even talk to my husband this week. It's impossible.
Why can't you talk to your husband? What's impossible?
The guilt is still just overwhelming.
So when you say you can't talk to your husband, what does that mean? Does that mean you can't have a long conversation with him, or are you just not speaking with him?
Yeah, it's long conversations. When he asks me what's for breakfast, it's easy to just spit out eggs or bacon. But when he's asking me like what I did that day or how I was feeling, oh God, when he asks me how I'm feeling, I clam up. I think he knows that something's wrong because he's been asking me.
How does it feel to have him kind of attuned to your emotions?
Well, right now it feels overwhelming.
What's so overwhelming?
Because he hadn't been paying attention. Now all of a sudden he's paying attention when there's something wrong. Like why couldn't he have paid attention before I met David?
What do you wish he had noticed?
I just wish he had noticed when I wanted just simple, easy things. Like when I wanted to get out of the house, when I wanted to put on heels or go have a nice dinner.
Sure.
Or just, forgive me for saying this, but just not be around my kids for a night.
Why is it so bad to not want to be around your kids for the night?
Because I'm their mother. I take care of them.
Sure. But your youngest is probably old enough to be babysat by the older boys. Have they ever done that before?
No, always home.
Always home.
Always home.
Always taking care of others. What about yourself?
I like taking long baths. They don't bother me when I'm in the bathroom.
How often are you taking long baths?
We used to be able to take them only on the weekends, but now I'm in there maybe 4 days a week.
And what's long? 20 minutes? An hour?
An hour.
Okay. So you're doing that almost daily?
Yeah.
Every other day?
Almost every day when I'm caught up on all the farm work.
So what are you doing when you're in the bath? What are you thinking about? Are you listening to music, candles?
Now this past week I've only been thinking about David. He's the only thing I can think about.
Okay. What are you thinking specifically about him?
Just the shape of his face, how he felt.
You miss him? What would it be like if you left?
But I can't leave.
What do you mean?
Well, it's my business, it's my home, it's my family. I could never leave.
Are you happy?
That's a loaded question.
I mean, you built this beautiful life for yourself. But what I hear is also that you're not really happy in it.
I'm not sure. I think I could be happy.
What would it take?
I don't know. I think it would take a lot of my husband paying more attention to me. Maybe a little less time working outside.
Okay, so let's focus on your husband and your relationship. So lately, you haven't been able to talk to him about anything of substance, and you use the fact that he's suspicious.
I don't think that he's suspicious. I just think he knows me well enough to know that something is happening or happened or like I'm feeling a certain way. He knows that. I can sense that, but he hasn't said anything.
Have you thought about saying something?
No, I don't know. I wouldn't even know how. Like, hey babe, cheated on you.
Sure, I mean, that does seem like it would be an awkward conversation and a tough way to start it out, especially. Have you thought about writing down what you might say to him? Like, what are the things you want him to know about the situation?
I don't even know if I. You mean the situation with David or the situation as we are now?
Whichever situation feels appropriate to you.
I don't want to. I don't want to tell him about David. I would like to. I would like to talk about our relationship now, though. If I had to tell him about it, I wouldn't know where to start though.
Okay. Well, I've heard I can sort of start you off and we can sort of think about it. Does that sound good? I heard you say that you wish he'd noticed when you wanted to get out of the house. Maybe put on some heels, some lipstick, get a dinner. Okay.
It'd be nice to not smell like pig shit.
Right. What else? What else would you want him to do?
If he could do some more housework, that would be really helpful.
Okay.
But that's difficult too, because he's tried before, but like his version of dirty is not my version of dirty.
Sure.
He thinks that plates wiped off are good enough. Like that's not good enough. They have to be washed, and we put them in the dishwasher, and we dry them, and then they're good enough. That's what good enough is. And like I already know that we would just argue about it.
Sure.
Because I genuinely think he cannot see dirt.
Right. Yeah. For some, sure. Some women too struggle with that. But with housework, is there something he does a good job at? Does he take out the trash well?
That's the only thing that he does well.
Does he do it all the time?
I don't even have to ask him. He knows that it's his job. And it's also his job because our driveway is a quarter mile long, so he has to put in the tractor, load it up, and take it to the end of the road.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. So that's something nice that he does, right?
That's nice.
And he does it without you having to ask?
Yeah, he does it all.
How do you feel when he does that for you?
It's nice. That's one less thing of my plate that I have to deal with.
Yeah. Do you thank him?
No, I don't. I just sort of assume that that's his. Well, you know what? He doesn't thank me when I do everything else.
So is that something that you would like for him to thank you?
That would be nice.
Yeah. That's what I'm hearing. Show him some gratitude. Sounds like you're really holding the family together.
I don't know if I would give myself that much credit.
You wouldn't?
No. I mean, we work together. The kids, they have their own thing, and Jim is always working on the other parts of the ranch and the other parts of the business. Like he helps out as well. Just like he helps out like the outside and the money bit, and then I help inside with the home bit. So we're a unit, we're a team.
So I'm hearing two different things. On one hand, I'm hearing we're a team, we're a unit. He does his thing, I do my thing. And on the other hand, I'm hearing I don't feel thanked.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, which is true?
They're both true.
They're both true. Yeah. So does it help to remember how much he does when you start to get frustrated with him?
I haven't ever done that before.
So maybe when you're feeling frustrated, underappreciated, what would it be like to remember he's doing the taxes? Or he's riding the trailers?
Maybe it would help put it into perspective, I think. I'm usually thinking a lot about what I'm doing and not about what he's doing.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, you want him to notice when you need to leave. You want him to help with housework. You want him to show some gratitude. What else would be good for him to do in an ideal world?
In an ideal world. Oh, I'm gonna sound like such a bad wife saying this, but I would like it if he could bathe more.
Right? Why does that make you a bad wife?
I just would. It's his hygiene. I need to love him as who he is, but some days I don't like stinking up pig shit. I don't like when he comes home smelling like cow shit. And I just want him to bathe as soon as he gets home. Oh, he does this thing where he comes in from dirty in the day's work and he'll sit down to dinner, it's still dirty.
Mm-hmm.
It drives me crazy. And I've asked him to wash up before and he'll wash his hands, and I'm like, no, can you take a shower? And he doesn't see the point of it. So our kitchen almost always smells like animal shit.
So is the point that it makes it hard for you to cook and clean in the kitchen, or is the point that it makes it hard for you to be physically intimate with him?
I'm not attracted to my husband when he stinks.
Sure. So do you think your relationship would be better if he were more hygienic?
Better, like I would be more attracted to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. He would if he could just clean himself. Yeah.
Certainly. So let's talk a little bit about sex. How often do you and your husband have sex? Okay, when was the last time you were sexually active?
With my husband?
Yes.
3 months ago.
3 months ago. Okay. Is that something that you would like to work towards establishing with him?
It's strange now because our relationship has sort of turned into a friendship.
Okay.
Not a friendship. How do I say this? There's no spark. I don't look at him and I'm overwhelmed with lust. Like that doesn't happen.
Sure.
And
when was the last time that happened?
Oh God, how old is Rebecca? 10 years ago?
10 years ago. Sure. Do you think that's all on him? That he needs to bathe more? He needs to take you out? I mean, those are things that really can affect intimacy. Is there anything that you're doing that maybe is affecting intimacy?
I don't know what I wouldn't be doing. I've done the same thing for years, and he's always. Sometimes he wants to have sex with me, but I can't. It just doesn't. It feels like I'm faking it.
What do you mean? It feels like you're faking it.
Like I'm faking being attracted to him. Like I'm faking wanting to have sex with him. And so most of the time, I feel like I'm doing it because that's what we should do in a relationship.
Okay.
I don't want him to be unhappy.
What about you? What makes you happy sexually?
Romance.
Mm-hmm.
I really like to be wined and dined. I like it when he used to bring me flowers all the time when we were dating.
Mm-hmm.
Every Sunday I would have a new bouquet of roses or lilies on my counter. He always bring those to me and bring me flowers anymore.
Okay. So, do you think if he were to bring you flowers, all your problems would go away?
Well, of course not. Silly.
Yeah, but it would help in romance, right?
It'd be nice.
Yeah. Okay. What else? I mean, even physically, right? You described the affair you had with David as being very passionate, very gratifying sexually. Was there something that he did that your husband doesn't do?
He listened to me.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't so much the sex. The sex was great, but everything that I had to say, he listened to.
Sure.
Like he hadn't ever listened to anybody, and I felt like he hasn't listened to anybody before. It felt like I was the most important person, and that was overwhelming.
Yeah.
And that's why I can't stop thinking of him.
So you'd like to be listened to by your husband
Mm-hmm.
a little bit more. Okay. Anything else?
He could lose some weight.
Lose some weight.
I'm kidding. I can't. I'm not going to tell him to lose weight.
What if he told you to lose weight?
I'd slap him across the face.
What if he asked you to bathe more?
I wouldn't know how to respond. I think I bathe enough.
Yeah, it sounds like you're bathing about an hour a night.
I'm in the bath a lot.
Yeah,
If anything, I bathe too much.
sure. So if you want this dialogue, right? Is that what you want? Do you want to talk to him? Do you want to feel comfortable communicating?
It'd be nice to have this part back.
Hmm. What does intimacy mean to you?
Which part? The sex part?
Is that all that intimacy means?
No, of course not.
Okay.
Intimacy, I guess. Listening to each other, not being obsessed with each other, but like not being able to get enough of each other.
Okay.
We used to have that.
Do you think it's possible to have that feeling of I can't have enough of you after years of marriage?
I don't know. I've never gotten it back. I would be genuinely surprised if it happened.
Yeah.
Pleased, but surprised.
Sure. Sure. So what if you were to start having these conversations? Could you really feel close to him if you weren't to tell him about David?
It would be really hard because I would be holding on to this lie.
Right. And would it be hard to even start the conversation? It sounds to me like your guilt is really holding you back from having any communication. So what do you think?
What do you think if I were to stop feeling guilty, then I can talk to him about it?
Do you think that's true?
Well, yeah, I think so.
Right. How do you stop feeling guilty?
Well, obviously by telling him, I can't tell him.
Why not?
He could kick me out. He could divorce me. And then I could lose my kids. I could lose my life.
What would happen if you got a divorce? Do you really think you would lose your children?
He would let me see them. I might even take care of them most of the time, and he would have them on weekends just because he's out so much and I'm in so much. So no, I guess I wouldn't. I don't think I'd lose my kids, but I also wouldn't have that type of income. I wouldn't have the same house that we grew up in. Like my life would not be the same.
Sure. Do you think that he would balance all that out? All the things that you do for him?
What, like he would cook and clean?
No, I guess I'm asking, would he get a divorce knowing all the things that you do for the family? Do you know that he would get a divorce from you?
I actually don't know. But that's what happens, right? When somebody cheats, divorce happens, like that's what happens.
Sometimes couples do decide that that's what's best for everyone to be happiest, but sometimes couples decide to work together to make their relationship better. Do you think that it's possible that you tell him and he's interested in improving your relationship?
I feel like I can't even talk to him about our relationship now.
Well, part of that is the guilt, right?
I wouldn't be able to. I don't think would start that conversation about David until I could start that conversation about how we are doing right now.
Well, what's preventing you from having that conversation about how you're doing right now?
Just the guilt, the overwhelming guilt. I don't want to.
So how do you get rid of that guilt?
I don't know. I can't. I can only talk about it with you. I don't have girlfriends I can talk about it with. I mean, I have girlfriends, but they wouldn't understand.
Why wouldn't they understand? They're married.
Because they're married. They're happily married. They're with their husbands. They love each other. They don't understand. I generally don't think they understand what it means to be unhappy and fed up in your relationship.
Are you the only one that is unhappy in their relationship?
I think so. I have three best friends, and they all have ranches down our road. And whenever we go over, they're cooking, they're cleaning, but they're loving it. They're with their husbands, they're with their families, and it's always like there's always laughter, there's always love whenever we go and visit them.
How do you appear to them?
I don't know, probably sad. I haven't talked to them in weeks.
You think when they come over, they see someone who's sad?
I think it's all over my face.
Do they ask about it?
I haven't talked to them since it happened.
Sounds like you're pretty isolated.
I guess you could say that.
Dealing with some shame? How do you think that you could sort of work through those feelings of shame?
It'd be nice to see them again, to see my friends.
What do you want to tell them?
I don't know. I just want to be with them. I want to be in a space where I can bitch about the housework and like talk about my marriage.
Sounds like you want to be real with them.
And I don't think they would understand about David, but I think they would understand about our living situation right now. About how I'm not the caregiver, the housekeeper.
Why would they not understand about David? What do you think would hold them back from not getting it?
Just because I don't think that they're West Texas folk, born and bred. They're very Christian. They're very much, role of the wife, role of the husband. This is how it is. I'm happy with it. Very heterosexual, and that's fine. It works very well for them. And they go to church every Sunday, and they take their kids every Wednesday.
You go to church every Sunday. Your kids go to 4-H. You mind the house. Your husband minds the farm. The ranch, pardon me. How is your life so different than theirs?
They're probably happy.
You know that?
No.
What would it be like to have a real conversation? How are things going in your marriage?
I wonder if they would even talk to me about it.
Have you ever tried?
No.
What do you think about trying that?
I think I could do it. I think it would also take the right atmosphere that I couldn't just walk into their house and start demanding them to know about their marriage.
Sure. What kind of atmosphere do you think would be appropriate?
Like a girls' night.
Girls' night?
Mm-hmm. We used to go out for happy hour.
Happy hour. Do any of them go to bingo too?
I see them there occasionally.
Yeah.
It's mostly just the old folks, but they're friendly people.
Yeah. So it sounds like you are developing some ideas around how to have this conversation and feel a little less lonely.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could talk to your friends, could you talk to your husband?
Probably, but not right now.
Why not right now?
I just still can't. It's still hard just to talk to him about anything.
It takes time.
I think that's exactly what it is. I'm not ready yet.
When will you know when you're ready?
I will wake up one day and not feel like I couldn't talk to him.
What would that take?
A miracle.
A
I'm
miracle.
just kidding. It would probably just take time. It would take a lot of time, and it would take a lot of getting fed up with how I feel now.
What would time do for you?
Isn't the expression time heals all pain? Isn't that how it goes?
You think that's true?
I'd like to think that's true.
Has that been true for you in the past?
Well, I don't think about. Well, I'm not as sad about my dad's death anymore. Like that healed. That pain healed.
Let's talk about that. How did that heal?
Well, he drank himself to death.
Okay.
But we knew it was coming for years and years and years in the making.
Sure. So why does that make it better?
We knew it was going to happen. Just that assurance that this is how you were going to go. And I knew about the same time when he got checked in the hospital, a year before he died.
So did time kill the wound, or did knowing what was going to happen help?
I think maybe knowing.
Okay. Do you oftentimes find that knowing what's going to happen helps?
It's really yes, it's a very reassuring feeling.
Is that maybe related to, what if I do tell my husband about David? Do you know what's going to happen?
No, I don't. I have no idea what's going to happen, and that's what's terrifying.
Sure.
He could never want to see me again, and that would be the worst. That would be the worst thing. He'd kick me out. I think actually him not wanting ever to see me again would be worse than him kicking me out. Because what if I get kicked out? I mean, at least my mother is still alive. She's in Dallas. But I would still have somewhere to go. I wouldn't be homeless.
You'd survive.
Mm-hmm.
Worst case.
Yeah, I guess so. Worst case, you would take the kids, kick me out, and I'd go live with my mother.
Do you think you'd take the kids? We already talked about that.
So terrifying.
No, you love your kids. Do you think that he would not allow you to see your children?
No, but I thought we were talking about worst case scenarios.
Okay, that's fair. Okay. Let's talk about today. What's going to happen today?
I'm going to go home, and what time is it? I'm going to go feed the chickens, feed the pigs. I'm going to garden, and I'm going to clean. And I have to clean the kitchen. I actually left it a mess from last night, which I hardly ever do. And then I'll probably clean the bath because there's a lot of soap scum in there. And then make dinner. The kids will come home from school. Jim will come home from work, and we'll all eat dinner about the same time. And then I'll clean up, and I'll watch TV, and I'll read a book, and we'll go to bed.
What if you're in a car accident? What if your kids are in a car accident? Do you know what's going to happen today?
Well, I thought I knew what was going to happen today.
Yeah, so your life, right? You were born. What day were you born?
I was born on September 13th, 1970.
Okay. And when are you going to die?
Well, if I go the same road as my mom, probably in my 90s.
Yeah, but what if you're in an accident?
Well, then I guess I'll die early, and hopefully Jim will get remarried and find somebody else to take care of the kids.
But you don't know that, right?
No.
So in the meantime, what can we do? Right? There's so much that we don't know about life.
It's just sort of hard to think that way, just because the past 20 years have been the same. Like it's never.
Except recently things were really different, weren't they?
Yeah.
So what if the kids were at a 4-H conference again, your husband was gone, and David came back, and things were different again?
Oh, I don't know. I would probably do it. At this point, I would do it again. If I'm already gonna feel this terrible and this guilty, I don't see how I could feel any worse.
Well, let's talk about the causes. I mean, what led up to this event, right? It wasn't one isolated event. It was a long time feeling underappreciated, wishing
20 years.
Yeah, wishing somebody would notice you, wishing you had an excuse to put on some heels.
It's not that, how do I say this? I don't think that it was all that time. I think it was after our last son was born. that our life just became work and kids.
Mm-hmm.
Because he used to take me out on dates. I mean, we used to go out, we used to have fun, but then we got pregnant, and then I had to be a mom.
Do you think that you could change anything by not telling him what's going on for you?
If I could change our marriage?
Yeah, is there a way that you can change your marriage as is without talking to him?
Without talking to him? I don't think so.
Is there a way to be happy without talking to him?
Are you talking like magical wishes right now?
I mean, realistically, right?
I don't think so. I think that most of our problems, my problems are with my husband. It's not. My kids are fine.
You're a great mother. Very dedicated.
He knows that.
Yeah, I'm sure he appreciates it. So what do you think next? How can you be happy today? Today.
Well, my baths make me happy.
Right? Taking a bath. Mm-hmm. Or any other way?
What makes me happy, this happens sometimes, is when my children help with dishes. That makes me really happy because it's time that we get to spend together and they're helping me out, and then I'm not the one that's taking care of them. It feels like we're working together. But John, the oldest one, he doesn't. He just goes up to his room. But Marco and Roberto, they come and they help sometimes.
Do you ask them?
No, I don't ask them. I just don't. I don't expect them to.
What would it be like to ask?
I think if I ask, they do it. That would make me happy.
Okay. So it sounds like you've got a few ideas for what'll make you happy today. What about this week?
It's Monday.
Got a long week.
A long week. Are we talking about like big things or small things?
Whatever things you think.
I think it would be nice if I could reconnect with Linda. She's my closest neighbor, one of my friends, one of the three.
Okay.
It would be nice maybe if I could see her for coffee. Can talk to her.
What are you going to talk to her about?
Well, if she's available, of course. She's really busy too.
Sure.
And just see how she's doing. See how those new recipes are treating her. The last time I talked to her, she was experimenting with her apple pies.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk about that. Talk about her baking. Talk about her kids. I like her kids a lot.
Sounds like you're going to talk about everything but yourself.
Is that bad?
What do you think?
I think it's really pleasant to talk about those things.
It is pleasant. I heard you say earlier that you wish that you could be more intimate with your friends. Is that true?
Yes.
So what would it be like to be a little bit more intimate? To maybe talk about pies and then move into struggling with Linda.
I think Linda would listen.
So maybe just beginning to think about that. You can do whatever you like. It's your life. But if that's something that would be really meaningful for you, maybe when you're in that moment, what would it be like for me to be honest with this person about what I'm going through?
I could try it. I mean, the worst that would happen is she just wouldn't want to be my friend anymore, but that seems unreasonable.
It seems unreasonable.
Mm-hmm.
At least maybe try something small. See how she reacts to that. And gain some trust.
Like what? What would be a small thing?
I wish my husband bathed more. You could even joke around about it.
I think that she would agree with me.
Well, there's something, right? If you can sort of talk about that. Maybe you could graduate to, I wish we went on dates. I wish she noticed.
I could try it. I don't know if I would just jump right in with that.
Start with the pie, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You don't have to put yourself out there too much. Just enough to be known by someone, right? Besides me. Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. Is there anyone else that you want to be known by?
No, I love my friends. I couldn't even talk. I can't talk to my mom anymore because she's lost her mind.
What does that mean?
She's got severe dementia, so we have, whenever I do call her, we have the same conversations over and over again.
Mm.
She's getting up there. She's like in her 80s.
That's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to watch her go through that.
Well, it runs in my family. My grandmother lost her mind. My great grandmother lost her mind. It just, and one day I'm gonna lose my mind. So it's
maybe. Do you know that?
I mean, biologically, it seems certain.
But what about what happens today and tomorrow and the next day? We don't know those things, right?
True.
Some of that uncertainty. It's real.
Scary.
What if one day you did lose your mind? What would you want yourself to have done before you got to that point?
Probably the things we've been talking about, just rekindle my marriage.
Yeah.
It'd be nice once the kids finally left the house, I think. And then maybe I could focus more on myself. I think that would happen. But I don't know, I also might get emptiness syndrome. I love them so much.
Yeah. Probably want to be okay with them leaving, right? So they could have their own lives.
Some might think they're really well-adjusted kids.
But what about you?
I am not so well-adjusted.
I'm not saying that. But how will you react when you don't have someone to care for? When it's just you and your husband?
I don't know. It's been 17 years. I can't imagine it.
All right. So, I'm going to connect with Linda maybe?
That's something I can do this week. Maybe on Thursday.
All right. And I think if you start there, really feel what it's like to be there with someone, fully authentic, maybe we can work up to getting there with your husband, since that's a real goal that you have, from what I hear, right? You don't want to get divorced.
No, of course not.
But you also don't want to be in a marriage where you can't be yourself.
Right. No, that either.
So what do you think you might need to do so you can help both?
I think I just need to stop feeling guilty. I need to talk to my husband about how I'm really feeling. I need him to listen to me and respect all the things that I have to say. I need him to have better hygiene. I need him to just take me out more.
Mm-hmm.
If all of those things could happen, I need to happen again.
What I'm hearing is that you have a lot of shame. Do you think shame gets better when you keep it in?
Well, I'm talking about it now.
Yeah.
And it still feels like shit.
Yeah. But did it feel worse before you came in?
Yeah. I feel a little bit better.
A little lighter?
A little.
What would it be like to have that open to the world?
My shame? Or
Yeah, what you're shameful about.
that's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Mm.
But just imagine it.
Okay, I'm imagining it. I'm imagining all of my friends being ashamed of me. I imagine my husband being ashamed of me. My mother would be ashamed of me for a couple hours and she would forget. My kids, oh God, I don't want to think about what my kids would say or what my kids would think of me. I haven't even thought about that.
But at least they would know you.
Is that better though?
It's really lonely where you're at. Just be you and me once a week.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds lonely. So maybe we can think about that a little bit more, step by step, how to get yourself out there a little bit more. Be yourself a little bit more.
Oh yeah, we made a plan. Like I can talk to Linda. I could ask my kids to help out with dishes.
Mm-hmm.
That seems nice. I think I can try that.
Okay. I also want you to work on some self-care. You do a lot for everyone around you, and I'm hearing you taking baths. When you first talked, you weren't eating much, right?
Mm-hmm.
Grouse. I want you to think about sitting down and having a real push. Giving yourself a bite.
David asked me what was wrong.
Well, let him.
Okay.
But you deserve a full meal.
I'll think about
Okay, let's just start there.
it. Okay.
Maybe in your mind, cut the portion of the lasagna that would be yours if you were to do that. In your mind. We can start there.
It'd be pretty big.
Sounds like you're hungry. How does that sound? Just thinking about it?
I can do that.
Okay.
That's easy.
So it sounds like we got a plan.
Mm-hmm.
Does this time next week work well for you? We can revisit some of these things.
Sure. This is when my husband thinks I'm in town running errands, so this is perfectly fine.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.